Hi, I'm Hayley Bohan from Marketing on Purpose, and I am here with Amanda Hanson from Simply Stylish.
Hello.
Hi, Amanda. So we're going to do a little debrief on the 12-week boot camp that you did with Marketing on Purpose, and the boot camp is called the 12-week Strategic Foundation Boot Camp.
Love it.
Love it. So I'm going to give you lots of time to talk about your business because it's awesome.
Thank you.
But first, I want you to tell me about my business. And tell everybody else in your words, because sometimes, I get all marketing-y.
Right.
And it's really good for people to understand what I offer based on, your perspective.
Okay. So when Hayley first decided to start her business and she told me about what she was doing, I knew without hesitation that I needed her. So when I started to work with Hayley, my business hadn't started yet. I hadn't launched yet. So I knew what I was doing and what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to do it and how to start and do it the right way and not start it and then have to backtrack and change what it is I'm trying to say and do, and the way to communicate with my potential clients the right way. And so they really understood what it is that I can do for them, help them, and what my brand is about. And at the time, I didn't really know what a brand was or why it was important to me. I kind of had an idea. I knew it was important. I just didn't really know what it was. And so I knew right away I needed Hayley. And I worked with Hayley in the past, so I knew she was amazing, and I had no qualms about working with her. And so we started, and I didn't know what I was getting into, but I was up for it.
Yeah, you had to decide quick, because I know that when I had mentioned it to you.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm in.
I'm like, it starts tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm like, totally, I'm in. And it was really nice because Hayley was flexible with my schedule, because I was in the process of trying to start my business at the same time. And transitioning from my lifestyle before to starting my business and then having to fit this into, the webinars were extremely flexible, so they were always recorded. So if I missed a live webinar or whatever, I could go back and rewatch it. So the theory part really put things into perspective for me, and you really communicate it in a way that I could understand, because I don't have a background in business. I've never owned a business. Never took really a business course.
And look at you now. Look at you now. Like, honestly, it's so impressive to see what you're doing.
That's because of you, honey.
No, it's not. It's helped, right? Because it helped you be able to talk about it.
Right.
But it's you, and it's your passion.
Right.
So we're going to talk a lot more about the boot camp. But first, I want people to know what you do. So Simply Stylish. When you this is a funny story. It's not funny, actually. It's terrible. It's a terrible story. So when you had first decided, you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
So when Amanda first decided to start a business, she kind of put a note out and saying, I'm thinking about doing this, personal styling. Would you pay for this kind of service? Because obviously you have to validate what you're going to do. And so I was like, no, I love her, but I don't know if I would pay for somebody to help me get dressed.
Right? You told me your husband would.
Yeah, I did. I said my husband would pay. So yeah, because he used to go to Tip Top or some store, and they used to always have the same person, and they knew what he had, and so he loved that, because then he went in, he asked for that person, but then that person left.
Right.
And so now he's on his own. So I was like, I don't know if I would.
Yeah.
But then as we started going through the boot camp, and I started really understanding why you're doing what you're doing and what you're doing, and I was like, well, why don't I just try it? So I tried it, and like, I'm in love with it.
Well, that's the thing is, I knew what I wanted to do. I thought I knew my purpose, but I wasn't sure how to communicate. And I did take one validation course through Enterprise St. John, and I really struggled because I had to pitch my business quite a bit, and I struggled so hard, and it was because I couldn't put my purpose into words, and I didn't focus on my purpose, because for that course I had to focus on other things. I had to validate my idea. But then I just got so stuck because I didn't have one goal in mind, or really something to hyper focus my business on. And really, my business is here to complete my purpose. So that's what you did for me, because to me, my business is just the mode of what I want to do for women. And so I want to empower women. I want them to speak up. I want them to feel confident. I want them to have a voice in any aspect in their life. I don't want them to have negative self-talk. I want to get rid of it. I want to stop the negative stuff they say about their bodies to themselves, or when they're talking with other women. I want them to accept the way they feel, and how I do that is by helping them express how they feel in the inside on the outside. Yeah. And all of my customers, when I ask them why they want to work with me or why they would want this, and they all say the same thing. They just want to feel more confident in their clothes. Like, yeah, it's as simple as that. They just want to feel more confident, and they recognize that what they wear can have an effect on how they feel, and then how they feel can then affect others around them. And it's like a circle. Yeah. So basically, my business is just a way for me to do that.
Yes, I love that. So in the boot camp, it's funny because in the boot camp, we spend a lot of time trying to find your sweet spot.
Yeah.
Right? So the sweet spot basically is your competitive advantage or differentiator. Like, how are you going to stand out? How are you going to be a big fish in a small pond instead of a small fish in a big pond? Mm-hmm. Right? So, and we do a lot of things to try to figure that out. And one of the things, and the first thing that we do, of course, is the purpose. Mm-hmm. And then we look at all your competitors and what they're doing. And like, it was so glaringly obvious with you that your purpose was your sweet spot, right? And it was your differentiator, because nobody else was doing it. Everybody else was just talking about clothes. And then you had this greater need to help people in a different way.
Right.
Through their clothes.
Right.
So I love that. So in the, after the course was over, because you've been out for about a month and a half, I think, of kind of the execution phase of the 12-week boot camp. And you've been rocking it.
Thank you.
Like, if you guys have not seen the stuff that she's doing, it's just unbelievable. Like, it's really good. Like, I just I'm like, she was my student.
Yes.
So, if you like what I'm doing, hire her. yeah. That's right. So but while you were in the course, you wrote a review for me.
Yes.
And, I love those unsolicited reviews. And I say, and even in the last position I had, where I was chief marketing officer at a startup, we talked about raving fans and how to create raving fans. And I feel like you are a raving fan.
Oh, 100%.
For me. So you talked about how this was a game changer, and you had it all in caps.
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody, kind of for you, why it was a game changer?
See, it's hard because I don't know what I would be doing without you. I can only imagine. Oh, okay. So it's hard. Like, I'm lucky that I grabbed her before I launched, because I truly believe that if I hadn't have done the boot camp, I would be floundering. I would have probably not putting out as much as I should about myself, because I wouldn't know what to say or how to say it. Or even if whatever I put out probably wouldn't be the right thing. And going through the boot camp, I mean, you pushed me, which I love challenges.
And you pushed me.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
But if anybody knows her.
A whole other story. But we can challenge each other, and that's how I learn. But Hayley just, honestly, she just needs to challenge me, and I'm like, I'm there. I'm doing it. And you did it the other day in her group. That. So she put out a challenge, and I'm always like, Hayley says to do something, I'm going to do it, because I trust her. So if she says to do it, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And I think whatever I put out there on my social media, I got great interaction from my clients, from potential clients. And so, the Facebook ad also that you told me to do. So part of, you do the boot camp, and there's the theory and the webinar part, and then you do the one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
And so part of the one-on-one coaching was, she's like, you need to do a Facebook ad. It's Valentine's Day, and you need to do it. And literally she said it to me, and she's like, I think it was a Friday, and she's like, it has to be done on Monday. So I'm like, okay. So I wrote my script, I did the video, her and one of her partners came, and we edited it, we got it all together. They got it out on the social media, and I got customers because of it. Yeah. And I got more likes on my Facebook page. And if you hadn't pushed me to do that, I probably still wouldn't have done it.
Right.
Because video marketing, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, or I don't feel comfortable going on video. So what it does is it sets goals for me, and she pushes me, and then the thing is you have to implement it. Yeah, you have to do it. If you're not going to do it, it's not going to benefit you. Yeah. And so now I know I need to create another video, and because I've already done that with support and help, I feel like I have all the tools to go and now do it by myself.
Yeah. So sometimes when I'm talking to clients and doing these, I say, like, they've kept me on, right? Mm-hmm. So you haven't kept me on, and that is good, right? because that's what this boot camp's about. So yes, I want to, people who are leveling up their business still and, still evolving. Yes, we need to stay together. But I feel like, you have gotten what you needed from the boot camp, and that's really good. Yeah. So you can do the 12 weeks, and then you can rock your business.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I love that.
I'm not an emotional person. I'm a nice person.
No, I'm just kidding. Yes, she's a very nice person.
I'm just not a very sensitive person. It takes quite a bit for me to emote a lot of emotions, and it's just because I'm a rational, logical person. Yeah. But so Hayley asked me, she's like, did you cry when we worked together? And I'm like, no. But Hayley kind of did. But to me, it was when I was talking about my purpose that happened. So because I got that response from her, I knew, and she pulled it out of me. Like, so I tell her, and she's like, go deeper, girl. Like, why? Why? That's her favorite question. Why?
Yeah. It's like I'm a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Why?
And so when she really pulled it out of me, and I got that emotional response from her, I knew I found my purpose.
Yes, and it was good. And actually, I would love to tell that story a little bit more. So what had happened is, Amanda says, so, when you go in the morning to your closet and, you see all these clothes and you can't wear any of them. Or like you have this tiny little like section that you can wear. And then like all the bad things that you're, I'm going to cry now. All the bad things that you're saying to yourself because you have a closet full of clothes that don't fit you right. And I just thought, like, I get chills just thinking about that, because that is something that I feel a lot of people, including myself, struggle with. Mm-hmm. So when I had Amanda actually come into my closet, like, I've got hardly anything left, really. Because I'm one of those people that my weight is like up and down and up and down. And I'm just not steady with my weight. So I had like a range of like 4 or 5 different, well, 4 different sizes. So to get those out, like what a like freeing kind of experience for me. Yeah. All right. So
because really those clothes, and some people are like, oh, well, I'll have an outfit because it'll motivate me. But I challenge that, because my guess is you're going to look at those clothes, and if you haven't reached that ideal that you think you should be, even if you're not even aware of the thought, it's like even a split second of that guilt or that negative, oh, I'm not there yet. Why am I not there yet? Why am I not this ideal that I think I need to be? And it doesn't mean you have to like toss these clothes or give up on your goals. It just means just put them away, just pack them away so they're not constantly in your line of view all the time. And what you're surrounded with visually are the clothes that you do love and do make you feel confident. Because when you surround yourself with things that make you happy and feel confident, you will feel it.
Yes, it's true. So, and you got me to wear the chunky necklace.
Yes. Oh my God, she is obsessed.
I was so excited. I've had this for years, and I think I wore it like twice.
Well, you're like, oh, I love that, and I never wear it. And I'm like, why? Why not? Why aren't you wearing it? If you love it, you should wear it. And so I got to show her different ways that she can implement it into her wardrobe, whether it's dress up or casual. And now she's obsessed with statement chunky necklaces.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love them. Okay, so let's get back to the boot camp for a second. Okay, so we have the way the boot camp works is the first 6 weeks are like the foundation building part. So we talk about purpose first, which is like basically
Your foundation.
the unwavering foundation of your entire brand strategy, right? And then we go into sweet spot, so your competitive advantage, and you have to do homework.
Lots of homework.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, because you've got to know who else is doing what you're doing, and like the sweet spot exercise for me is like one of the most important, because how can you differentiate? How can you stand out if you're positioning yourself the same way your competitor?
You're just another coffee shop.
Yeah, exactly.
There's all kinds of coffee shops, but there's good ones.
Yeah, who are different.
Yeah.
So we talk about all the different ways that you can set yourself apart. And with you, we did end up going with purpose as your way. And then we talk about core values of your company.
That I loved. That's something I never thought of doing, which is weird because I've worked with you before and I know it's important. But it was just, it was one of those things.
But when it's your own, right? It's different.
It is. And I remember my first draft I sent to you and you're like, not deep enough, Amanda. Not deep enough. And so then that's what the one-on-ones really I valued, was like you gave me the homework and I gave you what I thought, and then we met and you're like, nope, we got to look at this differently. Yeah. And then I was able to relook at it, and I love my values.
Yes, I do too. And the one, and I find it funny, not funny, it's interesting that, I've worked with probably, like I'm a founder too and just started my company, and you were in my pilot program. So, but since then I've worked with 12 companies. And everybody's like core values are so different. It's cool. Fascinating to me. Yeah. So one of the ones that you had said, we went with courageous, but you had said like a core value of being a rebel.
Right.
And I loved that. I just thought like, what like cool brand can we create on this platform of like being courageous and being a rebel? And you are, and you're going out of your comfort zone over and over again.
Oh yes.
Right? And you're pushing me and other people to go out of their comfort zone a little bit, like still within what's comfortable for them to wear.
But I do we all need to be pushed. If you're not being pushed or you're getting too comfortable, then to me, you're not growing, you're not progressing.
Yeah, exactly. And in the foundation, we also talk about promise, which is like externally, what are you promising to people? What can they consistently expect from your company? We talk about personality, of your brand, right? So that we can create that consistency that's so important.
Yeah, and she'll call you on it if you do anything that's off kilter.
Yes.
But that's a good thing.
I will.
That's a good thing.
Even though I don't love to like be like, but
no, but that's what you need,
right?
Well, because to me, the
fact
can't
surprise people,
right? Because it can hurt your business.
Yeah. So, and then of course we talk about the reasons to believe. And which with a startup is harder to do, right? Because the reasons to believe are, how can your customers believe that you can deliver on what you are saying that you'll deliver on? And if you're a startup, then what do you have to do to get that confidence in them? So we did some work on that, and we had
that helped. And it's something I revisit when I would have those days where I'm questioning, like, do I know what the hell I'm talking about? Which all entrepreneurs, business startups, you have those days. They're irrational, but it's common because you're in a vulnerable state, and so you're constantly, questioning your value yourself. Yeah. And so revisiting those really helped all those days.
Yeah, and it's so good to know how to act, like when people ask you, right? And we had talked about elevator pitch and all of that stuff in the execution phase, which I think is continually evolving. And I'm like ditch the pitch, like I'm like anti elevator pitch.
And it's what I believe that the elevator pitch kind of even just changes on who your audience is and where you're at. Because I went to an event to talk about my business, and the people who were attending really weren't initially in my target market. Yeah. So I had to kind of shift how I talk to them about my business.
Yeah, and identifying your target market. Yes, that's a huge one.
That is huge.
And the buyer persona, and you were really good because you had already done a lot of the background work. Yeah. Through Enterprise St. John. Yeah. Which was great. They had different questions than I had. Right. Mine were more probably personal.
Right, and which is important.
Yeah. So fabulous. So how are you feeling about your business now and being an entrepreneur and like taking this step?
I feel pretty good. I have clients.
Yay!
So that's what I want, and
Yeah.
that's what I have. I feel like women are really responding to my purpose, and I know I've changed women's lives for the better,
Yeah.
and to me that's so important. I want to be a voice that can change the way women think about themselves and other women, and so I'm doing that, and that feels pretty incredible. I have the days that I have that self-doubt, they happen less and less. I actually enjoy marketing.
And you're good at it.
And
you're good at it.
I'm like, oh, marketing. I really enjoy this.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that part. I mean, it can still be frustrating where I have to think of wording, but I question myself way less. It takes way less time to market my business now. And I remember before it's like, oh, I got to talk to somebody. What the hell am I going to say? I don't have that anymore. I know exactly what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the most, like small businesses, that's one of the most important things that I found has changed for my students is that now they can actually, talk about their business in a way that people are going to care. Right?
Yeah.
Which is what it's all about.
Yeah. And the biggest thing for me was learning that when you are sharing your business and what you do, don't talk about what services you do or don't talk about the product. You have to talk about what you're giving them, what value you are to them. And to me, that's like the key to marketing, and not everybody understands that. And I'm so thankful that I do.
Yes, I am too. So, thank you so much. Thank you
Thanks for
so
having me.
much for taking the time and being a raving fan, and I'm also
Always.
a raving fan of yours.
Always.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.